Thanks for clicking on Wayne.com for this edition of Inside the Zone. Justin Kenny, as always, from the News Sentinel, joining us to talk high school football. And it is sectional semifinals for some of the big schools. It's their first foray into the playoffs this year, and that's where we're going to start. Let's start off with 6A Sectional 3, Northrop at Homestead and Carroll at Warsaw. What do you see happening in that Northrop-Homestead game? Because Homestead beat them 41-28 in the regular season, but they had Drew Kazai for a half. That said, they've now settled into what Jaya Wright can do. Jordan Presley's kind of established himself, but Northrop can score plenty of points on offense.
Homestead's got to be ready. I think, Northrop is no joke. They showed that the final week of the regular season, put a big-time scare into Bishop Dwenger before the Saints won in overtime. But, you look at Homestead, they see that potential second-round matchup with Carroll, a rematch. You don't want to be looking forward to either Carroll or Warsaw because Northrop fully capable of knocking you off if you're not ready. Yeah,
and Carroll and Warsaw, you're talking about Carroll that's 6-3, Warsaw 5-4. So, somewhat comparable in terms of what they do. Like to throw the football. This was a 49-21 win by Carroll last year. Do you see it being closer than that? And do you see maybe Warsaw knocking off Carroll?
I do think it's closer. I think Warsaw is a very solid 5-4. They play in the Northern Lakes Conference with a lot of 5A, 6A teams up there and 4A as well. So Warsaw is very tested in terms of a lot of teams that are going to play the SAC in the postseason haven't seen the caliber of teams that you see in the SAC. But I think Warsaw is ready for this game. And Carroll, much like Homestead, best be ready to play because Warsaw, particularly offensively, can put up a lot of points. I expect another high-scoring game, and I think it's closer than last year.
If you're Northrop, what are you telling these guys? Because Northrop has some skill guys. They have some athletes. Shane Lee at quarterback, Washington at running back, Casey Lawrence at running back, Aruza at receiver. I mean, they have players that can make plays. Everyone's saying, well, it's going to be between Carroll, Warsaw, and Homestead. If you're Northrop, you're saying, hey, man, we got athletes too. Yeah. How can they be successful on a Friday night in this sectional, going in as kind of the dark horse, if you will?
Yeah, and I think they have some confidence as well after that Week 9 game against Bishop Dwenger. There's some certain teams and programs you really root for to get a win just as a program builder, and you were kind of rooting for Northrop to knock off Dwenger Week 9. That said, they didn't get the win. They still have to feel pretty confident. The way they played that game really hung with a Bishop Dwenger team that a lot of people expect can go deep in 4A. So while they didn't get a win Week 9, I think they're feeling as good as they have probably since the beginning of the year in terms of being able to compete. And I think if they come ready to play on Friday night, they should be able to hang with Homestead for a little bit.
2 weeks from now, who wins this sectional?
That's a tough one. I still think it comes down to Carroll and Homestead, and that's a toss-up game. I think in years past, whoever team I pick to win, the other team wins. So it's a kiss of death for me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take Homestead. So Carroll fans have to feel pretty good because I just picked against the
Doug
Chargers.
Guinan's like, please don't pick us.
Seriously.
Chad Zolman's very nice as well, but maybe you should
go the
Carroll route.
Yeah, both of those teams, right when we're getting ready to go, yeah, they're pretty darn good. They have a setback, and I think that is the big question for me: is which team is ready to play in the postseason? Both teams fully capable, as well as Warsaw, I think, to win 2 games. It's just which team puts a full 8 quarters over 2 weeks together.